The one thing that I think we could all be doing right now that would really, really help with the way things are is meditation. Don't switch off this video. It's not what you think. People think of meditation and they think of like hippies and yoga people blissing out and visualizing unicorns pooping rainbows. And certainly some people are doing it like that. That's not actually meditation though. That's a visualization. What I'm talking about here is pure meditation from the Zen tradition. It would be total stillness, silence, and spaciousness. Nothing else. Why? Because it is the opposite of content. It's the opposite of being in a content-consuming state. So imagine the human being as, let's put a little circle. Let's keep things super simple. A little circle, that's a human being. They have things going on outside of them, and then they have things going on inside of them. Emotions, thoughts, ideas, intents, fears, dreams, whatever you like. When there is an awful lot of content coming in from outside into the circle then needs to become defensive. Like, what will I take on? What do I not take on? I want some of that. I don't want that. I feel harassed and put upon by this. And there's just a huge bombardment of content out there. The bombardment of content upon the individual creates strain. These walls, if this is a single cell, the cell walls become strained. In an environment that is extremely rich in content, very dense in content, creates stress. It stresses the cell. That poor single-celled entity that we're calling a human here, we're reducing humans to amoebas. People like simplicity, so there you go. It's an enormous amount of stress and strain. So what are we looking for? You want a zero state, a content-free state. Stillness, so you sit still, you stop moving your body, stop jerking around. You might have to put your phone on the other side of the room and not touch it, probably put it on silent. You want to come back to your own body, so close your eyes if you're going to do it, so that you return away from the visual senses to the auditory, so you tune into what you can hear, and the kinesthetic senses, you tune into what you can feel. There's a lot of problems when we're very, very visually focused. I won't get into that now. Shutting off the visual, returning to auditory and kinesthetic helps. Putting your conscious awareness back inside of your own body, because that's where it should be. Being disassociated for 12 hours a day, I would say, is not great. Being disassociated in a trance and indoctrinated into other people's ways of thinking, into other people's ideological perversions, which they are, like there's just a ton of corrupt ideology around now, really does a lot of damage to you. So you're not disassociated, you are associated. You sit, you breathe, you stay inside your own body, your own space, your own lane. Your own lane. And you stay there and it feels good. Not at first, it will take time. Everything that is worth having is difficult in the beginning, but it will feel good eventually. And you breathe, you focus on your breathing, you still the breathing, and you listen. Not to anything in particular, you just listen. That's your stillness. Your spaciousness is you allow your thoughts to soften. You don't clear the mind. Forget that. That's maybe in 5 or 6 years' time. But for now, you just have softness and space around the thoughts. You let thoughts come. You let thoughts go. You associate, so you're not disassociated, you're now associated in your own body, in this reality, not in a fantasy or a daydream or somebody else's fantasy or daydream. And you're in your own body and you're observing your thoughts. You're not being your thoughts. You're not being other people's content and you're not being your own content. You're observing it peacefully, calmly, not fighting with it. You let it come, you let it go. And then silence. Silence. You let silence be the doctrine. You let silence be the ideology. You let silence be the teacher. You drop down into stillness, drop down into silence. And then you just be. You just be. I can't sell people on doing this because it's not a virtual reality, all singing, all dancing, screaming psychopath sound and light show. It's very plain. It's very normal. And it's very against the addictive, conditioned mode of thinking that most people are in. 20 minutes a day very easily would lead to 30 to 40 minutes a day, and it would lead us in the most direct fashion possible back to sanity. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and your attention. I hope that you go now and pay that time and attention in equal amounts back to yourself. I have a channel called Richard Grannon Philosophy, and on that channel I think there's 2 guided meditations. They are guided meditations, so there is content, but it's guiding you down into spaciousness, stillness, and silence, the content-free zone. Thank you.